Video taken from outside Kiev just a moment ago. Of course, while Russia was planning to do this, planning its invasion of Ukraine, the Biden administration wasn't simply weak, as Republicans are telling you. It was ridiculous and subversive. Its Pentagon was focused on something called white rage. The Biden administration itself, the White House, was concerned about maternity flight suits. Watch.
Some of it's relatively straightforward work, where we're making good progress designing body armor that fits women properly, tailoring combat uniforms for women, creating maternity flight suits, updating requirements for their hairstyles.
So the whole point of this, of course, was not to be inclusive, but to degrade and humiliate the United States military. And they've certainly done that. And now we're seeing the consequences of it. It's all very sad. It's reversible, though. Take heart. Dan Hollaway is the host of the Drinkin' Bros podcast, and we are happy to have him join us tonight to assess. Dan, it does seem like they've made the United States weaker on purpose and certainly more ridiculous on purpose.
Yeah, not necessarily so, too. And I'll on the what you were talking about before, those of us who paid attention to foreign policy for the last forever know that energy independence is critical to any country's national security and interests, right? And in the course of 1 year, we've gone from the #1 producing oil company, or country rather, in the world and energy independent to buying 500,000 to 600,000 barrels a day from Russia. Now, what was the plan exactly there to, excuse me, to lure Russia into being nice by subjugating ourselves to the whims of their energy policies and their war policies? That doesn't make any sense. Is that a plan at all, or is this the most feckless and incompetent administration of our lifetimes?
Thank you for saying that. And I do think it's that simple, and I would love to hear the counter argument, but energy independence is a critical, one of the critical national security questions. So, like, how did the rest of us just not pay attention as this was happening?
Well, people have been talking about it for a while. There's a video of Trump, addressing NATO about it a couple of years ago that's floating around now, and he got lit up at the time for it, but he was absolutely right. And it's not just the United States. Germany, over the past year, has shut down 3 of their nuclear facilities, and they plan on shutting down the other 3, the last 3 they have left, before the end of this year. And now the bulk of their energy comes from Russia. So, that's the craziest thing that I think I've ever heard in my life. But it is the hallmark of what's going on in the West right now, and it's certainly the hallmark of the Biden administration. Just a series of feckless and incompetent moves on the domestic side and the foreign policy side, while focusing on failed green energy policies and identity politics. And this administration is completely 100% captured by wokeness. And now people are paying for it with their lives.
I think that's right. And I think it's self-harm. I think it's masochism. Only a country that hates itself would behave this way. But most Americans don't hate themselves. They love this country. Dan, I appreciate the clarity of your analysis, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.